This is Cassius, Tryptamine Astrology Readings, and today we're really in a really positive spot of resolution and an end to this time of purging. This is probably the most significant milestone of resolution that I've seen in this whole entire year, more than a year of hard aspects like Saturn square Neptune and Jupiter opposition Neptune since about September of 2015 with the first Jupiter opposition Neptune and Jupiter square Saturn. We've been in a really hard time. And right now, there's this type of feeling that, actually, I'm looking at the chart of the full moon tomorrow, but I will go back to what's happening today. So today the sun is at the end of Cancer, on the cusp of the sun and moon. The sun is in the sign of the moon, Cancer, heading into the sign of the sun, Leo. So Cancer is arguably the most emotional sign. It's extremely watery emotional. It's the moon. And whenever any planet goes into Cancer right now, it has to cross Pluto and Uranus. One of the most important aspects of this entire decade is the once every 24-year Uranus square Pluto, an ideological Uranus purging Pluto. And it's happening at a really powerful time, just like in 1933. With Uranus in fiery, explosive Aries, Uranus, the place of technological progress and ideological feeling in the air, in fiery, youthful, sporadic, volatile Aries, squaring super volatile and hardened, rigid, structure-purging Pluto. So, you know what the Uranus-Pluto square is. I've mentioned it many times. Every time the sun goes into Cancer, annually for the past 4 years or so, we've experienced an emotional purging in July. And this one was a particularly eventful and important one. And at the end of this, the Sun, Mercury, and Venus all going through Cancer, which we felt the last month, all of them crossed opposing Pluto and squaring Uranus. And that was the choke points, the trigger points where Mercury, Venus, and the Sun all opposed Pluto and squared Uranus. Volatile events happened in the last month. And they were extremely predictable, and every day that I said that there would be an explosion, or any astrologer could have predicted that, there was. And it really surprised me with the significance and intensity of these little bursts of purging. Now that Mercury and Venus are in Leo today on July 18th, Monday, they're in a much warmer, more resolved place. And every year at the end of July, we kind of have this emotional warmth feeling that is the cusp of the moon and sun. The cusp from a long journey of emotions to the resolution of those emotions and it turning to the warmth of Leo. Every cusp, it's cool to think about it in a chronological type of way. So, a much warmer place today, a quite grounded, warm, emotionally resolved, post-purging time right now. With Mercury starting to trine Saturn, there's a warm, grounded, also you could say a resolution to the spiritually malefic and cold still happening Saturn square Neptune. With Mercury in warm Leo and Venus trining Saturn, it's kind of adding some warmth to Saturn square Neptune. And also, the South Node is starting to conjoin Neptune. So as this gets more intense, the South Node conjunct Neptune, we'll have monthly times of extreme spiritual, deep feelings. Particularly in the times of the month, twice a month, when the moon conjoins the south node in Neptune, which will happen soon, and when the moon conjoins the north node and then immediately after Jupiter. So we're in a time of major resolution to everything. In the next few hours, the moon will conjoin Pluto, and you might get a blast of volatile, more purging, just like we felt the last 2 weeks, which was a lot to do with Pluto and Uranus. So in a few hours, it's right now Monday, July 18th, 1:41 p.m. Pacific time. In a few hours, the moon will conjoin Pluto, and then after that, maybe 5 hours later, it will square Uranus. So watch out for something like that in the next, several hours. Also, Mars is leaving retrograde, and we experienced a super electric, jagged, purging, fiery, insomniac thing the last few days, with the sun exactly squaring Uranus. That's now ending. It's 2 degrees away, 2 days off it. And with Mars exactly quincunx Uranus, which just finally peaked and stopped. Mars is slowly leaving retrograde. Today is a somber day of moon in Capricorn. Nice, resolved cusp of the moon and sun day. Leo is warm. Much love. Peace.